Hi, thanks for joining me for another edition of the Bell video blog. I am Eric Bjornstad with Bell Performance, and today we're going to talk about staying safe during summer driving season. We're shooting this in June, so summer driving is upon us. You're going to have like 35 million people out there on the road at any given time. And, let's face it, if you're taking your summer road trip to grandma's house, the object isn't just to get from your house to grandma's house, from point A to point B. You want to have fun getting there. Part of the fun is an experience, right? And there is nothing that will derail that fun faster, of course, than something unforeseen happening and, you breaking down, or just something unforeseen happening and essentially biting you in the butt. So you want to prepare as much as possible for those possible things and to prevent them from happening. So what we figured to do, give you a few pointers on some things you can do before you leave on your summer road trip that will increase the chance of you getting there successfully, basically, which is the ultimate goal, right? Okay, number one, check your tire pressure. Okay, now, first things first, none of this is really going to be related to mileage. We've done a lot of things on mileage, right? But we're breaking away from that here. We're talking about safety, how to get there safely. Okay, so number one, proper tire pressure. Checking your tire pressure is easy. Tire pressure does relate to gas mileage, but tire pressure relates to both tire wear and making sure your tires don't blow out. Every car manufacturer, prints the recommended PSI of pressure for for your particular vehicle in those tires. Typically, you open the door, driver's side door, you can see the little sticker there in the door jamb, and it will tell you what the recommendation is. Now, if your tire pressure is too low, that means your tire is going to be soft. That's going to do two things. It's going to increase the wear on your tires in certain areas, and especially along the sidewall, because more of that tire is going to be flattened out on the road. So it's going to cause more wear around the edges and on the sidewalls, and then that's going to weaken those over time. And of course, it'll drop your gas mileage, which if you're driving 600 miles, you want to spend as little as possible doing that. On the flip side, some people recommend jacking your tire pressure up as high as it will go because it saves you money on gas. And while that is true, that's not always the safest thing to do, because excessive tire pressure that's too high, increases your chances of a tire blowout on the road. So what you want to do for best safety is have the correct tire pressure. Okay. It's easy to check. Always check it when it's cold, of course, because when you get out on the highway, your tire is going to heat up, and that's going to actually increase your tire pressure by like 5 or 10 psi. So always check it when it's cold. Make sure you're at the right amount according to your manufacturer. Cooling system. Okay, cooling system, really essential for your car, right? Especially in the summer, because we are talking about summer driving. Best thing you can do if you're planning to take a long trip, take that car into the mechanic, have them check out the cooling system. They will especially check out the health of your radiator and the hoses. Make sure that those don't have any leaks, because there is nothing that will derail your fun faster than springing a coolant leak and blowing your engine up when you're in the middle of the Arizona desert. Also related to this, air conditioner. Okay. If you're in the middle of the Arizona desert, of course, you're going to want air conditioning. But, excuse me, air conditioning is something that you also want to have checked out by a professional. And the reason that is because you have this AC belt. The AC belt powers the compressor. If that breaks, of course, you're not going to be able to run your AC anymore. You might say, well, I'll take my chances on that. But the problem is that in many models, the AC belt also is hooked into the alternator. It helps the power drive the alternator. And that means it also helps to run like your water pump. So if your AC belt is old or in bad condition and happens to break when you're out like that, you are in big trouble. So while they're checking out your cooling system, have them check the AC system, check the AC belt, make sure everything's working there. And those are two things that a lot of people don't think to do, but could go a long way towards ensuring that you get there when you think you're going to get there. Last thing, always have an emergency kit. Most people think emergency kits, they think, well, they need some ace bandages and some band-aids and some antibiotic Neosporin and that kind of stuff, and all that's good, but there are a few extra things you may not think about that we might recommend you throw into the back of your car before you leave. Okay, number one, an extra thing of coolant. You spring a coolant leak, you do not know if there's going to be a service station around the corner, especially, like we said, if you're out in the Arizona desert. So throw an extra jug of coolant in there. It's not going to cost you much, and it will be really handy to have if you happen to need it. 2 quarts of oil. Same deal with the coolant. If you happen to have an oil leak, or if you happen to forget to check your oil and you're running low on oil, it's always useful to have a couple quarts of oil. 2 quarts is going to be enough to get you where you need to go if you're starting to have a problem. So, 2 quarts of oil, extra coolant. Take some maps or an atlas, and by that we mean paper maps. You do not know if you will always have cell service. We use our Google Maps and our GPS to find wherever we need to go. We say, oh, I don't need a paper map. You might end up being in a place where it could come in really handy. Again, because of the way modern technology rules our lives these days, a lot of people don't really think to do that. Don't follow the crowd. Throw an atlas or a paper map into your car. Duct tape. The old joke about you can fix anything with duct tape. Well, I don't know if you can fix anything with duct tape, but you can fix a lot of things. You can do a lot of things with it. For example, if you spring a leak in one of those hoses, you can take duct tape, you can seal that leak, and you'll get to where you can then have that replaced. Duct tape, really useful stuff to have. Throw it in the back of your car. Just don't use it to strap anything onto your roof or anything. Put a real spare tire in there. We all have those little donuts, and those are useful, but if you're on a road trip with your family, especially if you've got 1 or 2 or 3 or 4 screaming kids who want to know if we're there yet, and you get a flat tire, if you have your donut, donuts are speed rated only for lower speeds, and that means you are not going to get there when you think you're going to get there. But if you have a real spare tire, you will get there when you think you're going to get there, and that is going to be well worth the price of admission to you. I can guarantee that. Last thing, throw some assorted tools in there. Put a screwdriver in there. Put some pliers in there, and put a coat hanger in there. You never know what handy thing's going to happen, or you never know how you're going to be able to use a coat hanger until you need it. You can do something like, for example, the way you can use a coat hanger. Let's say the mount on your muffler breaks. Front of your muffler falls. That happened to me when I was in college. I didn't know enough to think about checking something like that, but your muffler threatens to fall off. That can be a big problem. You would take your coat hanger, wrap it up, strap that thing back until you can get someplace where you can get it fixed. That kind of thing. Again, never know when you might have use for something like a coat hanger or duct tape or some extra coolant or oil, stuff like that. So, hope you have a very enjoyable summer driving season. Hope you get to Grandma's house okay, and hope you remember us along the way. Thanks for joining me. Again, you can find us on the web at bellperformance.com and wefixfuel.com. I am Eric with Bell Performance. See you next time. Bye-bye.